What up, brothers? Gotta make a car video. That's what everybody does, right? I mean, how you gonna have a YouTube channel and you don't make a car video? So, going back to the palace from the gym, and just want to go ahead and do a vid or update. I am now, I gotta look, I think I'm 10 weeks out. I should have looked at that before I started. 10 weeks out from the show. And so I'm probably gonna buy my NPC card. You know, it's funny, you get all geeked up, you watch people with NPC cards or certainly your IFBB Pro card, and yeah, you have to win it for sure. But one of the things I was shocked to learn, I thought you like win some contests and then you get your card. No. I guess at least at the NPC level, you buy your card just to get into the contest. Like, okay. So, and then you have to renew it. It's only good for the rest of the year. So last year I competed in early November. So technically I paid all that money to only have a card that was only useful for 2 months. And guess what? They don't prorate it. They don't prorate it. So, gonna pick up my card just so I can, for two reasons. Number one, I mean, you can buy it whenever before the show. But the other big thing is I at least want to have it and I at least feel like I had it for a few months to get some of my money's worth. So diet wise, doing well. Coach bumped me up on some calories. So that that's definitely appreciated. But let me just go ahead and share with y'all a little bit of the journey that I'm on right now with my cooking. I don't cook. I always said I got married, so I don't have to cook. She got married because she got a man that's going to take care of that snow, take out the trash, but then I got kids. Take out the trash, kids take out the trash. Fight bad guys, and she doesn't have to worry about fixing things. And that car certainly never, only up until recently, did she have to worry about even getting that oil change. I got that. But I'm at a point in my life now where I need to learn how to cook. And so I've been on this journey, and I want to talk to you guys. If you have been married for a long, long time and you've never had to learn how to cook, it can be done. Follow me to freedom. I'm going to try to just take y'all on this journey as well. It's one of those things, it's like, wow, you go out and be ready to take an engine out your car, but cooking a meal, it's like, I don't know. And it's because you don't want to waste that money on food. It might not taste too good. Messages coming in while I'm driving. It might not taste too good. A host of reasons why. So, that cooking has always been something I've been slightly intimidated by. And it's funny because I liked to cook when I was a kid. And I was cooking when I was a kid. But then, got married and it's like, all right, well, cool. I don't have to worry about this. And I have to say this too. But you know what? I got married, but I was out there making that money. And so there is an element, if you out there working hard and grinding and you have to come home and, you got to cook as well, well, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And certainly for the ones or twos ladies that may be watching this, you know how I feel, because the first thing that a woman that works a 9 to 5, 40-hour work week complains about is having to come home and cook every night. And so she wants someone else to take that role off. So the other part is, man, I understand. If you've been out there working, and some guys like to cook. I have a lot of friends like that. They just enjoy cooking. But it's certainly a big burden that's kind of taken off, and you haven't had to worry about that. And so now, for a host of reasons, I am learning how to really dial in my macros through my own meals. And it's good because I'm starting with, do I even want to give a plug? These folks not paying me for sponsors. But I'm starting with, I'll just say, a meal service for right now. And starting with that meal service, the box comes to the house once a week. I have it set for, and for 2 people, which means really I can break that up into 4 meals. And so that actually works pretty well for me. So I don't mind eating the same thing. And I guess I'll go into that. I know, I was telling a client this week, eating the same thing day in and day out is actually a great thing. I know a lot of people, they may not want to do it. It's like, if I have to eat the same thing, I don't like eating leftovers, etc. And that's fine. If you want to be a foodie and always, want the latest and greatest in the meals, great, knock yourself out. You want something tasty and a lot of variety. But what I find is that those type of people, they often tend to struggle dialing in and controlling their eating habits. Just nutrition is no different than everything else. There's something to be said about not using we'll just say your mental energy figuring out what you're going to eat. Because now you're leaving what am I going to eat? That is now it's a variable that's contingent on how you feel at the moment. When you already have your meal set, planned, prep, or at least just go into MyFitnessPal, when you have a good day, just copy and paste those meals over into the next day. And then that way, you already pretty much know if I eat and hit my macros on, say, Monday, and I eat the exact same stuff on Tuesday, you know what? I might be eating leftovers, but I'm going to nail my macros again. And really, what I find is probably 80 to 85% of the things I eat every day are exactly the same. I'm always going to have some yogurt with some trail mix. I'm always going to have some casein protein before bed. I'm always going to have at least 1 ounce of nuts, mixed nuts. I'm always going to have at least 1 ounce of cashews. Depending on workout day, I might have a Metrics bar, I might not. But then I might also have some rice cakes, some peanut butter. Then we start getting into some of the slight variables. But otherwise, most of the stuff, the only meal that's almost always different would be dinner. And if I nail my macros on Monday and I just eat the same thing on Tuesday, now I've nailed my macros in on 2 days. And a lot of you may be listening to me struggle to get even 2 days of consistency in. Well, that's an easy way to do it. And so now imagine if you do that for another set of days, maybe 2 or 3. Now you've dialed in 4, maybe 5 days of the week of your macros just by being redundant with your eating. Caleb Jones says redundancy. Redundancy is the way to go. We really need to be redundant in a lot of things that we do. Because if you want consistency, you want to make progress, you want to also have options in your life. Redundancy is the way to do it. So, with that said, what I want you to think about, try to go ahead and get your cooking on point. Try to think about the things that you want to eat. Try to think about the leftovers that you don't mind eating. And if you can dial those into your macros or whatever diet, if it's intermittent fasting, if it's keto, whatever you're doing for the week, go ahead and do so you can be consistent in those days. Follow me. I'm going to post up some of the meals. I just put some overnight oats that I made last night, had some this morning. I work out, I lift 5 days a week. I find that overnight oats really are filling for me. So, it was enough to get me through an hour and 45-minute workout and another about 30, 35 minutes of walking in. So trying to get my steps in while I have the time on a weekend. So knock those things out. Follow this. Again, I'm 10 or 11 weeks out. So I'm really trying to get ripped and shredded. And why am I telling you to follow? You may not be interested in a contest. But what you are interested in, nearly everyone has in their mind. No one comes to their coach and says, you know what? I want to look good next year. Really, people have in their mind, I want to be at a certain spot within blank number of weeks, months, and they're expecting results really in as little as 2 or 3 weeks sometimes. And so in this, what I consider, and I'm sure people who compete know, it's a short time period. In this short time period, roll with me, and you'll be able to kind of get some of the things and some of the tips that I'm doing over this time period. Thankfully, I have a great coach. Coaching is good. I'm coaching now myself. And I'm really one, I love doing workouts more so than anything else. And so definitely follow, hit me up if you're interested as well. And I'll get you there. And why is it important? Because think about how you're going to feel when in 10 or 11 weeks, we're going to be right there close to Thanksgiving. Right at the door of Thanksgiving. And then you're going to go through this mental thing of, well, I'm going to start right after Thanksgiving so I don't gain that weight for Christmas. No, you're not. No, you're not. Then your next thing is going to be, well, I'm going to start right after Christmas because I don't want to be like everybody else and start at New Year's. No, you're not. Then you're going to be like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and start at New Year's like everybody else. No, you're not. You're not going to do it. And if you do start New Year's, you'll be You'll be faded like a drunken sailor by January 10th. You'll be faded like some dude at a party trying to impress some girl by January 15th. You'll be faded before that first credit card bill hit your house from all that stuff you bought on Christmas that you knew you couldn't afford to celebrate White Jesus. So go ahead, hit it now. Feel like hit it. I should start into a raw bass verse right there. But you know what? Get it done. Get it done. And so follow me, and you can go ahead and knock this out in a matter of weeks. We can get you there. So a lot of you guys may be looking to start a lot of things over, fresh for 19, for 23. And so let me help you get there. You might be planning on starting your new relationship. You might be planning on hitting some dating sites. You might be planning on looking good for your wife. You might be planning on just being able to play with your kids, because right now your shoulder hurt, your knee hurt, your hip hurt, your back hurt. Whatever you're deciding to do, let me help you. Get at me, and we'll do this. Take this journey with you.